What is up, Spacians, Earthians, and witches alike? I am just a simple new type here to explain all things Mobile Suit Gundam. I should be calling myself a witch this episode because we are breaking down Mobile Suit Gundam The Witch from Mercury. I will certainly be getting into the story because honestly, Sunrise is throwing a lot at us without letting the viewers breathe and needs some explanation. But this video will be mainly focusing on world building. As this is a Gundam alternate universe and not a part of the Universal Century timeline, we need to learn more about this universe, and that is what I'm here to do for you today. Although this is an alternative timeline, I will point out the parallels to Universal Century and the constant running themes you see in every Gundam property. I will also go over the short story Cradle Start, which covers the gaps in between the events of the prologue and the events of Episode 1. So let's get into our first alternative universe breakdown. The Ad Stella timeline. The After Colony of Gundam Wing and the cosmic era of Gundam Seed universes mirror Universal Century very closely. While a universe like Gundam 00 takes place roughly 300 years in our timeline, Anno Domini, and has running themes about the geopolitics of energy consumption. And of course, the Build Fighters universe with the running theme, Buy More Gunplay! The Ad Stella timeline takes a theme that has been in the background of Universal Century and other universes and puts it in the forefront, and that is the theme of corporate involvement in military conflict. In Universal Century, companies such as Anaheim Electronics was smart enough by playing both sides of the military-industrial complex. But in Ad Stella, companies such as the Benerit Group have what seems like ultimate power within this universe. Their influence extends beyond governing bodies, as we will see with the Vanadis Incident. When Suleta, our main character by the way, enters the Asticassia School of Technology,
Asticassia,
we find out that the Benerit Group has influence over the future technology leaders of Ad Stella as well. Does any of this seem familiar to you? We see this mentioned as the Shinsei Development Corporation is ranked 151 out of 157 with a rank of D. So let's see how this corporate existence influences the Ad Stella timeline based on the events of what we know so far. In Ad Stella AS-89, the Shinsei Development Corporation was created. Their business began with the development of integrated operating systems for mobile suits and medical devices. This was nothing new to the Ad Stella universe, as companies have been innovating in Gund technologies for some time, it seems. Around Mercury and their many fronts in the area, they mine for permit, an element that was discovered to be of great use to fuel sources and other technologies. Permit allowed for the advancement in Gund format systems that allowed for bio-augmentation of the human body. This technology eventually led to the Gund arm, a use of Gund format systems designed for military purposes. Gund arm would be later nicknamed by the people Gundam. Humanity was born in the cradle of Earth. Our bodies are far too fragile for us to venture into space. Just as an infant has to put on clothes, humanity must don the Gund to truly go out into space. This was the belief of Dr. Cardo Nabo of the Vanadis Group, which would be acquired by Oryx Earth. When they were acquired, they seemed to focus research and development on Gund arm technologies. The Gund format made life for humanity vastly better. But at the size and scale of the Gund arm, this technology seemed to hurt one's life rather than save it. It isn't until the Vanadis Incident that we see the fate of the Gund arm technology sealed. While the Vanadis Institute was under new ownership, the Mobile Suit Development Council was growing weary of the possible bioethical issues regarding Gund arm mobile suit pilots. And they are correct. It seems that the Gund arm system does indeed connect to the human body. When operating a prosthetic arm, the human mind seems to be able to handle Gund format technologies. but connecting this mind to a giant Gundam seems to yield negative results. Ox Earth, and by extension the Vanadis Institute, were rushing to push out the XGF-03 Gundam Lufrith into production. Because of the Council's concern of ethics, they gave Ox Earth a deadline to meet production. However, this was all a lie by the Council. They were never intending to allow Ox Earth into the Council. They met at an unknown asteroid to give a press conference on their intentions to seize all assets from Ox Earth and that all production of gun-armed mobile suits would be suspended. As Ox Earth wasn't a part of the Mobile Suit Development Council, they were seen as a private enterprise. The Council was overstepping their power, as it seems they don't have any say into what private companies can do. Sure, Ox Earth was bidding for representation, but minus the bad PR of dying Gundam pilots, they were within their right to continue development. As this all takes place in the Prologue, it can be assumed that the Council was trying to control mobile suit technology by destroying one of its competitors in a very hostile manner. Certainly the risk of mobile suit pilots wasn't nothing, but based on the words of Dr. Nabo, we as the audience are led to believe that there is something very special about gun-armed technology that the human population simply can't understand yet. Or maybe the anime throws a wrench at traditional anime conventions and Suleta and Gundam truly are the bad guys in this situation. I doubt it though. In a universe where money rules all, the use of force was a clear sign of a power change on the horizon. The Council announced that a new auditing group called Cathedra would be established to monitor the ethical decision that some of these companies make. Monitor. It was announced that Delling Rembrandt would be the supervisor of Cathedra. He is the president of the Benneret Group, which has a huge influence on the Council. The Benneret Group is an umbrella company that many other gun format companies are a part of, including the Shinsei Development Corporation. During his announcement, Rembrandt uses propaganda and rhetoric to influence the world of the evils of the Gundam. He even goes so far as to refer to the life-stealing Gundam pilots as witches, using allusions to the Puritan witch hunts of our world. Although I'm not certain, I assume this is the first mention of witches in this universe, and became a negative meme in this universe from here on out. While the announcement was taking place, the Mobile Suit Development Council planned an attack on the Front Third Autonomous Sector at Folfen, where the Vanadis Institute was in the midst of development. Before the attack, Dr. Nabo and Elnora Samaya are testing Gundam Ilfrith. Elnora is trying to reach Layer 33. It seems that the layers are a system in place to show how much life is being drained from the Gundam technologies. Elnora can only reach 32 before things get bad for her. However, her daughter, Erikt Samaya, is a curious one. She has been around gun format tech since she was an infant. Dr. Nabo connects her to Ilfrith to show that it can keep her safe. It is during this time that the front is attacked. Nabo heads out to secure the facility, but it is too late. She is surrounded and killed. Elnora finds that Erikt was playing with Ilfrith Gundam during the attack. She gets into the cockpit with her daughter and powers up Ilfrith. And that is when Elnora notices that she has reached Layer 33. She looks at the monitor and notices that this is possible because the Ilfrith is connected to Erikt, not Elnora. Erikt is the one that reaches Layer 33. During this time, Nadim Samaya, Erikt's father, launched the prototype Ilfrith, the LF-01. The LF-03 being the model Elnora and Erikt are piloting. Nadim takes off to deal with the Dominicus Corps, who we briefly meet, but know little about. During this battle, we see Nadim increase his permit score to 2 and eventually 3, which takes a huge strain on his body. Now, what is the difference between the layers and the permit score? At this time, I have no idea, but they both seem to be integrated systems to measure how much strain is being put on their bodies. After a few red shirts die, Nadim goes to permit score 4 and tells Elnora and Edict to flee. His heart races to insane levels. Before dying in a blaze, Nadim sings happy birthday to Edict, which brings up which of Mercury's weirdest and most eerie theme. Birthdays?
Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday to
Happy birthday to
この回線を切れ。できません。発信源はガンダムと推測。どういうことだ?
I have no idea where they're going with this, but it is creepy and I really like it and I hope it pays off in the future. Elnora and Edict flee from the Vanadis front. The next time we see Edict, she will go by the name Suletta Mercury. Ad Stella 122, our hero, Suletta Mercury, is inside the cockpit of her Gundam, which is inside of a shuttle. She's double-checking to make sure she is fully prepared for her enrollment in the Asticassia School of Technology. The school is located in Front Sector 73. It has been over a year since we dived into Ad Stella, so let's do a quick refresher. Unlike Universal Century and other Gundam AUs, many people began living in space in colonies. In Ad Stella, the majority of space-dwelling citizens live in fronts. Fronts are structures that are built into asteroids. If you ever read the Ender's Game series, it always reminds me of humans that took over planets originally designed for bugger colonies, relying heavily on tunnel systems from within the planet or asteroid. Suletta looks out to see the front, but as they approach, she sees something in the distance. She sees a human drifting in space. She contacts the bridge and informs the shuttle of a person out in space. They send out a rescue team, but Suletta wants to go out and help in her Gundam. They open the hatch. She launches in Gundam Ariel. The XVX-016 Gundam Ariel is the pivotal Gundam of the series that is more or less like mobile suits of this era of Ad Stella, but it is greatly enhanced when specifically piloted by Suletta. It is powered by Permit and utilizes the Gund format system designed for human augmentation. This is the taboo technology that we saw the Vanadis Institute get shut down for creating the Ilfrith Gundam. This is very similar. This unit has beam Vulcans. This unit's main weapons are the Escutcheon, which is the name of her swarm of Gund bits. Each individual bit is known as a bit stave and can be operated on its own as a beam turret. They can also form together in what is called bit on form, which creates a defensive shield while also quickly recharging the gun bits. It also has a beam saber and a beam rifle, which can also be used as a beam blade. Now, depending on Suletta's permit score, we will see her be able to do much more, such as overriding enemy gun bits and deactivating units. Much of the story revolves around the mystery that is Ariel Gundam, so we will be constantly discussing this mobile suit throughout the series. As Suletta goes out, it seems like the person doesn't want to be saved. She goes in and pulls her into the cockpit. She headbutts Suletta and tells her that it is all her fault. She was this close to escaping, and she ruined it for her. Welcome to the Asticassia School of Technology. Here, at this fine institute, we take nepotism seriously. Make sure you are well connected and, most importantly, well funded. And don't forget, have fun. You are our future. And by future, I mean investment. Don't let us down. Remember, when we make money, you make money. Slightly less than us, but still, money. Suletta wanders around being very oblivious to everything happening around her. She was quite the sheltered person and was the only girl of her age on Mercury. She runs into Nika Nanauda, a second-year mechanics student. In this moment, I think she doesn't know if she should refer to her as senpai or not, as she has never been to school, so she doesn't understand social hierarchies yet. I'm sure I don't have to tell most of you, but social hierarchies in Japanese culture is important, which is why Eastern cultures will start a conversation off with asking your age. A few girls come rushing over to ask Suletta about what it is like living on Mercury. She is overwhelmed. They make fun of her hairband, and Suletta is oblivious to the fact that they are making fun of her. The girl that Suletta saved earlier that day shows up. She is Miorine Rembrandt. If that name sounds familiar, it is because she is the daughter of Delling Rembrandt, who we saw in the prologue. A part of the Grassley Company under Sarius at that time, he was responsible for the raid on Folfen. She yells at her once again. It seems Miorine wanted to flee to Earth. Suddenly, a duel begins. It is Guel Shaddiq versus Parker Eastcott. Guel is piloting Guel's Delanza, and Parker is piloting the Capul Cool. The MD-0032G Guel's Delanza is a mobile suit built by Jeturk Heavy Machinery. We are going to dive into the specs of this unit, but one thing you are starting to notice about this series is that the mobile suits aren't necessarily as important as the company who made it. As of now, Guel has been the holder and one of the best pilots in the school. He is pompous and arrogant, and it can be seen by how big his antenna is. To win a duel at this school, one must cut off the antenna of your opponent. Because he is so arrogant, with the skills to back it up, he has made his antenna as big and as gaudy as possible, just to rub it in his opponent's face. It is equipped with beam Vulcans in its chest, a spike shield, and a standard beam rifle. Special to the Delanza units is the Beam Torch and Beam Partisan, which is similar to a Beam Lance, but with the little curly bits on the side. The TKG 328 Capel Coup is equipped with a beam gun, a bayonet, a heat sword that is stored in its backpack, and a shield with a spike. Not too much is known about this unit, mainly because it won't be around for very long. Don't expect Bandai to make a Gunpla of this unit. Guel is getting the upper hand, but they are heading directly towards the students. Suletta stands there frozen. Miorine pulls her out of the way. As the two flee, Guel cuts off Parker's antenna. Guel gets out of his mobile suit, looks at Miorine, and proclaims that her and the company will be his one day. Miorine heads back to her tomatoes. What? Suletta comes and thanks her. Miorine explains that duels are how the students work things out. Things like apologies, money, power, and even marriages are settled through duels. She explains that is how she ended up as Guel's fiancé. It is simply business. We cut to the Venerate Group having a meeting of all its companies. Pale Technologies, Jeturk Heavy Machinery, and Darius's Grassley Defense Systems are the highest earnings during this quarter. The Parnio company was in the red, and thus the Venerate Group has decided to cut off their finances and remove them. As the meeting adjourns, we meet with the Venerate Group leader, Delling Rembrandt. He wants people to keep a closer eye on Miorine and make sure she doesn't try to escape again. Miorine gives Suletta a tomato, as she has never had a real one before. She tells her it is her mother's breed of tomatoes. Guel comes over and tells Miorine she needs to move into the Jeturk house, but she tells him that she isn't a lapdog to her father like he is. Ooh, that tomato's spicy. He gets mad and starts destroying her garden. But Suletta comes in, and with the power of God himself, I'm talking about Bright Noah, on her side, gives him a classic Gundam slap. On his ass? Now that's just sexy. Guel is offended and starts name-dropping titles like he is Daenerys Targaryen. He boasts about being the holder. Suletta demands that he apologizes to Miorine, but tells her that we handle things with duels here. She accepts his challenge. He will apologize if he loses, but if Suletta loses, she must leave the school. She accepts. On the dueling field, which is one of the many test fields at the school, Jeturk and Suletta prepare for their duel. All duels are streamed to every student's notebook, allowing them to watch. However, currently inside Ariel is Miorine. She is tired of others fighting her battles for her. Suletta remembers that she gave Miorine her notebook earlier, and she never returned it. The notebooks are the keys to your mobile suit as well. Shaddiq and the dueling committee asks if Guel is okay with the changes made. He agrees. The duel begins. Both are evenly matched, but Guel starts getting the upper hand. He notices something on the battlefield. It is Suletta riding a Haro-powered scooter. See, this is how it starts. One day, they are helping us out with scooters. The next, they are trying to murder us. This is how the Haro uprising begins. Wake up, sheeple. She jumps into Ariel and fights with Miorine. Miorine is confused at first because she refers to Ariel as her family. She says she can defeat him. Guel, mad at Suletta's statement, changes his opponent once again. The dueling committee allows it. She says if you run, you gain 1, but if you move forward, you gain 2. She activates her gun bits and creates a shield. It blocks Guel's attack. They swarm together and fire on his mobile suit. As he is distracted, Suletta rushes in and uses her beam saber to take off Guel's antenna. While this is happening, Vim Jeturk is awaiting to assassinate Delling. But before he goes through with it, he is informed that his son lost his duel. Even if he were to assassinate Delling, it wouldn't matter as Guel won't be her fiancé anymore. It seems that there is a new player in town. As the winner of the duel, Suletta is now the holder. And since she is the holder, she is now Miorine's bride. She is to be wed to the person who holds the position of the holder. Suletta says that she is a female. Myorine essentially goes, "What, yo, you never experimented when you were in undergrad?" And she's like, "Nah, man, I've been homeschooled. I got no social skills." But she is willing to roll with the punches. She's now a lesbian. At least she's taking it in strides. But according to Bandai, it is up to interpretation, so who knows? The dueling arena is suddenly shut down, and the front management company comes in with the Demi Garrison. The MSJ OP-122 Demi Garrison is a part of the Demi series created by the Burien Company. The Demi series consists of a lot of training mobile suits designed specifically for the school. We will see Cecilia later, who is a member of the Burien House and Company. It is a general-purpose mobile suit and designed mainly for security. It is equipped with beam Vulcans, a quad beam Vulcan, a short rifle capable of rapid fire, a middle rifle, a beam saber, a rocket bazooka, and a missile launcher. It could also use knuckle mode, which allows the mobile suit to punch fools. The front management company involves all things managing and maintaining all the fronts. They are like a hospitality and maintenance business. Everything is a business in this universe. Everything. They come in on behalf of Delling because they believe that this mobile suit breaks the Cathedra Agreement. Remember, this prevents anyone from using gun format systems in mobile suits for fear of killing the pilot. Myorine realizes that her father is getting in her business once again. Suletta is being interrogated by the Benerit group. They believe that this mobile suit was a part of the same research that came out of the Vanadis Institute decades ago. Vim Jeturk wants the machine destroyed immediately, but it is clear that he has this opinion so his son can become the holder once again. The board members want to summon the Shinsei Development Corporation's representative. The teacher gives Nanada a new notebook as Suletta stole hers to access the Haro scooter and get into the dueling field last episode. The teacher is super earthist towards her. In Universal Century, we saw working class and the poorer castes of Earth live in colonies while the elite lived on Earth. Since the Vanadis Institute and the Ox Earth's involvement, the Earthians are looked down upon by Spacians. Nanada is a part of the Earth House. Later on, girls will spit gum in her food for sitting in their seats. People here are savage. At Myorine's Tomatoes, Guel's house members come to help fix the damage they caused during their last visit.
Do your two-step, your little catwalk make it work.
They talk shit and think that the Mercurian will be expelled. Myorine has been ditching class. President Delling's men still have her heavily guarded. She gets a message from her father that says he is pulling her out of school and choosing a new fiancé for her. She essentially never wanted to be Suletta's bride. All she wanted was to go to Earth. But now, with a heavy dose of daddy issues, she is going to prove him so wrong by marrying the shit out of Suletta. That'll show him. She goes and meets with a contact that tells her that she could get her to Earth within the hour. She has 30 minutes to decide if she wants to go. Vim Jeturk slaps Guel for losing the duel. Vim gets a notification that the representative from Shinsei Development Group, Lady Prospera, is here to meet with him. It is the first time they have met since she has become the president of Shinsei. She wants him to talk to the president on her behalf, but it isn't going to happen. Suletta is still in jail until they decide what to do with her. Elan Karis comes in and gives her some food. He wants to learn more about her. The Benerit group interrogates Lady Prospera during their tribunal. They want to know how she built the Gundam and her ties to the Vanadis Institute. Lady Prospera insists that it isn't a Gundam and doesn't utilize the gun format system and says it is a part of their new drone technology. She goes full Bill Clinton. I did not build gun format systems. Shaddiq is a part of the tribunal. He says that Ariel exhibits more permit than the average mobile suit, which is a sign of gun format systems being used. But if that were the case, then they should also detect a data storm. Remember this, we will return to data storms soon. Shaddiq says no data storm was detected. Mining for permit on Mercury is very dangerous, and she says this technology will make life easier for the Mercurians. Right before they vote to destroy the Gundam, a pair of legs walks into the tribunal. It seems Myorine smuggled herself to the tribunal instead of heading to Earth to give her father a piece of her mind and legs. Delling says that she has no power in this room, but she essentially calls him a fascist in front of everyone while challenging him to a duel. His pride forces him to agree. If he wins, Suletta will be expelled, and if she wins, Suletta will be Myorine's bride. Vim chimes in and suggests that they use this opportunity to test Ariel. Myorine goes to tell Suletta that she must duel for the sake of Ariel. She doesn't want to be Myorine's bride initially because she wants to date first. but she tells her that it is all a ruse until she is able to make her escape to Earth. They pinky promise, the strongest of all promises. As Shaddiq Heavy Machinery, Guel is looking over the Garibaldi. The MD-0064 Garibaldi is a proof-of-concept mobile suit developed by Shaddiq Heavy Machinery and utilizes new unmanned drone tech. This unit uses AI to adapt and learn to kinesthetic human movements. It also has the new 5th generation AI, mainly because Vim doesn't think his son can win without it. It is equipped with beam chest Vulcans and a beam javelin which triples as a beam anchor and a beam kunai. It also is equipped with the shackle claw for immobilizing enemies and the knee crusher. The drone tech has different swarm modes. An A-type configuration will utilize the beam anchor and beam kunai. The B-type utilizes the beam blades, and the Ambica utilizes the swarm to form a shield. Shaddiq is mad that the AI was added to his unit, but Vim comes in and slaps him, saying he wouldn't need it if he didn't lose the title of Holder. Now that was a good business slap. Suletta is getting prepared for school while having a conversation with her mother. Next to her on the desk is the gun format tech char helmet. She is Lady Prospera. At school, Shaddiq tells her that they will duel once again. Suletta is afraid, but also not at the same time because she already won once. Lady Prospera thanks Vim. It is clear that she blackmailed him into helping out during the tribunal. It appears that she knew that Vim almost had Delling assassinated and used that against him. Shaddiq is talking to his father, Sarius, about learning more about Lady Prospera. They are wondering how they managed to develop mobile suits all the way out in Mercury. Elan comes to summon Suletta for a meeting with the dueling committee. The two exchange contacts, which was on Suletta's bucket list. The dueling committee is a student-run organization that handles all of the dueling at the school. Depending on the duel, the rules change. We already learned that each duel must come with a prize. An apology, money, or power of some sort are all options. When the duel begins, the observer says the phrase, Alea Jacta Es, which is Latin for the die is cast. I probably butchered that, but let's hear a Japanese person say it. I'm sure they could do better.
Alea Yecta Est.
Nope. No, they can't. Each of the 3 branches are represented on the committee, along with 2 representatives from Burian House. We learned last week that the top 3 houses are Grassley, Pale, and Shaddiq. When Guel is the holder, his brother Lauda handles dueling committee business. Other rules involve limiting beam weapons during duels and making attacks on the cockpit an illegal move. We will talk about special occasions like the Rumble Ring when we get to it. This will be a one-on-one duel in the 7th testing sector. Their stakes for this battle are the same as the last time. An apology from Guel if he loses, and expulsion if Suletta loses. Cecilia makes fun of Guel, but Suletta stands up for him. They prepare for battle. Elan, representing Pale Technologies, is the observer for this match. The battle begins. It seems that Vim plans on cheating during this battle to help Guel win. Suletta is able to take out an arm, but Guel reforms the Garibaldi into a new formation. Suddenly, the heat management system changes the weather and begins raining in the front. This causes her beam weapons to dissipate fast and make her bits not as mobile. But real talk, wouldn't beam weapons and rain in an enclosed environment like a colony create a giant sauna? Let me know in the comments what you think. Yorine tells Elan to stop the match until this issue could be fixed, but he says that the conditions were set up by the students by their own terms. This is a very business way of thinking. If someone is cheating in a duel, you as the opponent should have known better and either planned accordingly or not engaged in the duel to begin with. Or as Elan phrases it, if he cheated, then it is a part of his strength. It is very much survival of the fittest mentality. Although Myorine definitely should have known the rules by now, this is definitely just for us the viewers. Myorine gets into a mobile craft, which is some mobile worker of the sorts, probably made by Burian, but I'm not sure. She goes to see who is messing with the environment, telling Suletta to hang in there. Myorine breaks in to find 2 bitches, Petra and Felsi, messing with the environment. She fixes the issue, and Suletta is good to fight again at full potential. She unleashes her bit swarms on Guel. His dad chastises him, but he is tired of being told what to do. He turns off the AI that was assisting him and fights on his own terms. The two fight with their beam sabers. She dives forward and slices off Guel's antenna, making her the winner. Suletta calls Myorine Mio Mio. She hates it. I hate it too. Suletta meets up with Guel. She apologizes for underestimating him and is a good sport about it all. Guel, however, gets on one knee and proposes to Suletta. Suletta stares at Guel, wondering if he really said what she thinks he said. They stare at each other awkwardly before she runs off in embarrassment. Ehara was recording it all for the students to see. Vim Jeturk is meeting with a few members of the Benneret group. After Guel lost 2 matches in a row, some are considering pulling back on the funding. At class, Miorine changes Suleta's outfit to the Holder outfit. She tells her that she has many perks as the Holder. A couple of bitches ask her a bunch of questions when Jeturk comes in insulting Suleta. He carries out his terms of the duel and apologizes to Miorine. He also tells Suleta that he never liked her, he never will like her, and no proposal ever happened. Yeah, he seems to be trying to convince himself in this moment. During a live test, Suleta fails because she doesn't have a team. During tests and missions, the students work in teams of 3, a pilot, a mechanic, and a spotter. Their test is currently to get across the testing field in a demi-trainer without getting hit by any landmines. The MSJ-121 demi-trainer is created by the Burion company like all of the demi mobile suits. This mobile suit is very basic by design and for good reason. It allows the students to take it apart, build, and learn with it. Because of this, customization is key amongst your team. This mobile suit is what the majority of students are comfortable using. It has a shield, a saber stick, which is a training rod, a beam gun, and a combat knife, as well as the Daedalus, which is a multi-tool component. Of course, students modify this to attach Gatling guns, missile launchers, saws, or just a simple articulating hand. She must ask a member of her house, but she currently is not a member of any house. Choo-Choo heads out for her test. She is using the Choo-Choo's Demi Trainer. The MSJ-105cc Choo-Choo's Demi Trainer is actually an older model of the Demi Trainer. Because of the Earthian oppression, Earth House can't afford the latest models, so they have older versions that are heavily modified to keep up with the other students. This version has a large beam rifle and a beam Gatling gun. During her test, something gets on her display, causing her to fall and hit a mine, failing her test. She realizes that someone has sabotaged her unit. Later, Suleta struggles to find someone to help her with her makeup test. Nika, Lily, and Aliyah see Suleta and she asks if Nika can help her with her test. Lily tells her that they are a part of Earth House. Remember, in this universe, the Earthians are oppressed and they live with the assumption that no one wants to be associated with them. Nika says she can't help, but she introduces her to the rest of the Earth House. They all realize that even though Suleta is a Spacian, she isn't like the others. They all introduce themselves, but this is when Choo-Choo comes in and goes, "Oh hell nah, you brought a Spacian into our house? Let me go, let me go." Suleta runs into Elan. She tells him that she is struggling to find a house to join. Elan offers her to join his house, but Miorine barges over and tells her that the head of the 3 houses are the enemies. Even though the pair of legs is majoring in management strategy, she thinks she could help with her tests. One thing to note is that Miorine is not a part of any house. Meanwhile, what is happening on Earth? Is it the oppression of one people over another? I bet you it's the oppression of one people over another. Called it. People of Earth are protesting their oppression. People want to be treated as equals. Not on my watch. Quick, send in the mobile suits. They send in the Delanza Soul and the Hindri Sturm. The MD-0031UL Delanza Soul is made by Jeturk Heavy Machinery and is very much like the Delanza used at the school. The school, however, has the limiters in their beam weapons. This unit doesn't have any limiters and is combat ready. The school version of the Delanza simply can't match the combat ready version. It is equipped with a riot gun, a beam rifle that doubles as a beam bayonet, a beam torch, and HC missile launchers. The CFP-013 Hindri Sturm is made by Grassley Defense Systems and is designed to be an all-purpose mobile suit. It is built off of Hein OS and is the 4th generation of this model. It is equipped with a beam rifle, shield, a beam saber, and a backpack beam cannon. Suleta tells Miorine she one day wants to create a school on Mercury. Miorine doesn't seem all too interested. The next morning, the makeup exam begins. Some bitches once again mess with the demis. She heads out on her mission, but her view is obstructed and she fails. She tries again, but fails. She continues over and over again. Choo-Choo realizes that someone is messing with them and goes to deal with it. She walks up to one of the bitches and punches her right in the face with the power of God himself. The two begin fighting. Suleta comes over and tries to stop them, but she gets punched in the face. They must do another makeup test. Choo-Choo is infuriated with Suleta. Nika and the others want Suleta to join Earth House. A duel is in effect. 3 members of the Daigo House are piloting Kleebari's teaming up against Elan and his Zowart. The BTZ-48 Kleebari is a mobile suit created by the Daigo Corporation. Very little info is known about this unit, but it is equipped with shoulder beam cannons, a 6-tube missile pod, a beam gun, and a beam saber. The FD-19 Zowart is a mass-produced mobile suit by Pale Technologies. This unit has the ability to fly in gravity and can do so without a subflight system. However, it can be equipped with a vector booster which improves airspeed. This unit is best at mid to long range. It is equipped with a beam gun and a beam saber. 3 units try to synchronize their attacks against Elan, but they fail, and he is able to take off the mobile suit's antenna, winning the duel. Myorine notes that they all fell into Elan's hands. Belmeria Winston is streaming the duel to Nivola, Cal, Nugan, and Golneri. These 4 are the co-CEOs of Pale Technologies. They wonder about the witch's mobile suit. Of course, they are referring to Suletta. Belmeria tells them that they didn't find a data storm when testing for gun format technologies. It is clear that they are using Elan to find out more information about Suletta's mobile suit. Perhaps he isn't as nice as he appears. Now that Suletta is a part of Earth House, the Earth mechanics are looking over Ariel. They have never worked on a mobile suit this expensive before. Earth member Alia tells Suletta's fortune. She mentions that Suletta lost her dad when she was young, and she is right. She then asks if she has a sibling, and she says no. This is a cool piece of foreshadowing that I didn't catch on the first watch. If you know, don't spoil it for others, but keep this fortune telling in the back of your head. She suddenly gets a call. It is Elan. He asks her out on a date. She calls her mom and tells her about her upcoming date. After the call, one of Prospera's employees comes in and tells them that Pale Technologies is making moves. Bermelia is giving Elan a briefing on the flight between Ariel and Garibaldi. They are certain that this is using gun format to control the unit so fluidly. She says that a permanent influx should kill someone with that much use. It seems that she was designed to pilot a Gundam, just like Elan. He glows red. Myorine comes bursting into the hangar, yelling at Suletta for going on a date with Pale Tech. And she isn't wrong. Of course, she goes out with him anyways. Their date is in one of the test sectors. So romantic. She is showing off Ariel to Elan. Of course, he is using this opportunity to get more info on the Gundam. He asks if he could pilot Ariel. Once he is in the mobile suit, he increases his permit score to 2. Like he expected, Ariel responds to it, and he is sure that this is gun format. However, his skin doesn't glow red with permit. Elan suggests that Suletta found a way to lift the curse. Those bitches burst into the gym and tell Guel about Suletta's date. He goes to chase them down. After piloting Ariel, Elan is now cold and rude to Suletta. Guel comes in and challenges him to a duel. He accepts as he needs to test his new mobile suit. Guel launches in Lauda's de Lanza. The MD-0031L Lauda's de Lanza is Jeturk Heavy Machinery's most well-rounded de Lanza. Because these things are beefy, it lacks mobility. This version strikes a perfect balance between mobility, thruster output, and armor. This has the same weapon set as Guel's de Lanza. As he takes off, Lauda yells at him for stealing his mobile suit and tells him that his dad is going to kill him. Elan launches in the new Ferrict. The FPA-77 Gundam Ferric is Pale Tech's new mobile suit that utilizes the new blast booster. Remember, Pale Tech prides itself on its aerodynamics and booster tech, so this unit takes that idea to the next level. Of course, this unit utilizes the gun format system to better control the mobile suit. Like the Zowart, this unit is better for long-range combat. It has a beak foot and also contains a beam cannon and can stab and penetrate a mobile suit harder than Big Zam tearing through Slegger. It also has a beam saber, and the gun format tech helps him sniper. He also has the Korax, which are gun bits that are utilized with the gun format system. The two engage in battle. This testing field has lower gravity than usual. Elan increases his permit score to 3 and unleashes his gun bits. He is able to damage the de Lanza's leg. Prospera is watching and knows that the Gundam is using gun format. Belmeria approaches her. It seems the two are old friends. Belmeria knows of Ariel's use of gun format as well. On the battlefield, Guel is able to get through the electromagnetic lasers caused by the gun bits, but he falls right into Elan's trap. The Ferric destroys the mobile suit and then rips off Guel's antenna with his bare hands, winning the duel. His prize for winning the duel is to be able to duel Suletta, and Elan plans on taking Ariel as his prize for winning their battle. What Myorine was warning Suletta about the 3 families is finally coming true as everyone is out to get her mobile suit. Last episode, Belmeria and Prospera have their reunion. She asks her about Ariel and Suletta, but Prospera ignores her question. Belmeria pushes her a little bit more. That is when Prospera asks, how many pilots did their Gundam have? She walks away. This is important because Prospera knows that Pale Technologies is also using a Gundam under the radar, but most importantly, she knows about Elan. We will get into who he is soon. Everyone is gathered at Earth House talking about the recent duel between Guel and Elan. Now that Elan has won, his prize is to fight Suletta. If he wins this one, he will take Ariel for himself. Suletta still thinks that this is all because he asked Elan about his birthday. At Jet Turk House, Guel is getting kicked out for losing too many times. He has no place to go. Shaddiq is the observer for the duel between Elan and Suletta. This duel will take place in space outside of the front. The stakes for the duel is Ariel if Elan wins. Suletta has yet to decide what her stakes are. Since the duel is taking place outside, she is going to need some thrusters, but Earth House has no money and everyone hates them. They are able to get a hold of some scrap parts and place the labor in the hands of Nika. Have fun, Nika. Earth House is putting themselves in a deficit with these duels. If Suletta were to lose, they will most likely have to go bankrupt. Back at Pale, Elan wakes up. He saw a glimpse of a woman. Belmeria tells him that he moans in his sleep. Suddenly, a young man walks in. It is Elan. This is the real Elan. The one on the bed is the 4th iteration of the Clone Saga. Elan recognizes that he will only last about 1 or 2 more battles before the gun format systems take him. The real Elan tells him to cheer up and wonders why he chose to do this, knowing that the Gundams are a curse. He tells himself that he was a curse long before the Gundam. Ariel is out running tests on the new thrusters. They seem to be functioning normal. Suletta opens up to Nika about feeling dumb about falling into Elan's trap. Myorine comes on the comms and tells her that she is very dumb, but she needs to move forward and gain too. Suletta heads to Pale House. She wants to talk to Elan, but not even his housemates talk to him. She tries to talk to him on an open comm line, but he doesn't respond. That is when she sings the happy birthday song. Elan calls her and tells him that he doesn't have a birthday, but she wants to make today his birthday. He hangs up on her. The next day, they prepare for the duel. Ariel and Ferric Gundam launch. Shaddiq asks Suletta if she has decided her stakes. She says that if she wins, Elan has to tell her about his life. But she says it very awkwardly, so everyone thinks that it is a love confession. The duel begins. As the two begin fighting, Elan tells her that he is merely a disposable pawn. With some distance, Ferret shoots at Ariel. Her gun bits are protecting her, but she isn't going to be able to keep this up forever. Elan goes to permit score 3. He begins destroying her gun bits little by little. He tries to get distance, but Suletta chases and won't let him. Elan 4 goes permit score 4. Belmeria is monitoring Elan 4. His data storm is reaching uncontrollable levels. Elan 4 goes in and destroys part of her thrusters, but Ariel is able to disable everything around her. Once it hits Ferric Gundam, Elan 4 is able to see something in the data storm. He sees a child, and he hears children's laughter. During the duel, the dueling committee was able to record permit data. Elan 4 is distracted. At that moment, Suletta comes in with her gun bits and takes out Ferric's antenna. Elan 4 sees an image of the same woman he was dreaming about earlier. She has a cake. It is someone's birthday. Suletta comes in and saves him. She pulls him out of his Gundam and apologizes to him. He tells him that he does have one memory, someone celebrating his birthday. The next day, it is almost 10 o'clock. Suletta is meeting with Elan 4 as promised. Back at Pale, Belmeria is pleading to the Pale CEOs that Elan 4 still has value. They simply tell her to bring in the next one. Elan 4 sings the happy birthday song as he is incinerated. Suletta is also singing the happy birthday song, still waiting for Elan. The Pale CEOs are meeting with Sarius, CEO of Grassley Defense Systems. They inform him that Ferric is a Gundam. He makes a comment about doing things behind people's back, but the Pale girls come in and say that's something that Sarius is used to. This is how I imagine all defense contractors talk to one another. The two plot to work together. Back with the tomatoes, Suletta and Myorine get an invite to an incubation party. Myorine tells them it is a waste of time and only for the top 3. That means that Elan might be there. She now wants to go. Nika, Martin, and Martin's bowl cut decide to attend as well. Myorine tells them this is an event to help facilitate new business ventures, people looking for that seed funding for their shitty tech startup. I know how this game works. Okay, our app is called Flurbo, with no U and 2 R's. We are a cloud-based AI platform that mines crypto right from within your rectum. We truly are making the world a better place. Sure you are, sure. As they walk around, the real Elan is watching them. It seems Elan 5 is not ready, so the real Elan will actually have to do some work. Everyone is staring at Suletta and Myorine. They run into Shaddiq. It seems there is a little bit of history between Shaddiq and Myorine. Suletta runs into her mother and introduces Myorine to her. The two met during the trial. Suletta goes to get Prospera a drink. While she does, Prospera tightens her grip on Myorine's handshake. She is like, yeah, your dad's a piece of shit. Hey little girl, you know your dad's a piece of shit. Myorine is like, yeah, my dad's kind of a piece of shit. Prospera suggests that she get rid of her childish pride and walks away. While Suletta was getting a drink, she of course makes a mess. Suddenly, the real Elan comes to help her. As Nika goes to get some food, Shaddiq comes and thanks her for helping the other day. Elan gives Suletta a flower. He apologizes for not meeting with her the other day and tells her he will return to school soon. Elan leads her to the main event. Myorine is looking for Suletta when the main event happens. Elan leads her onto the stage where they think she is getting praise. But Pale Technologies is using this as an opportunity to blame the Shinsei Development Corps once again for using Gundam. Before Delling makes a decision on what to do with Ariel, Myorine chimes in and starts giving her own pitch. What is happening at this party? It started as a place to pitch, then it became a witch hunt for Suletta, and now Myorine is going to give her speech, which is summed up by the phrase, yeah, but money. She goes on to explain Pale Tech's losses and says she could double that in a new company that she is creating called Gundam Tech. She asks for all investors to help out, but she gets no bites. Her father, Delling, tells her that there is currently no value, so she asks him to invest. With his investment, he can actually give the company value. I feel as though this is a moment of respect, but also a moment where his daughter has also become his competitor. Delling gives the pair of legs a 3% investment. With that, others also invest. They are also able to reach the funding needed to be a part of the Bennett Group. While this is happening, Lauda is meeting with Prospera on behalf of them. They want to renegotiate a former deal. Sarius wonders why Delling is allowing Gundams to exist. After her meeting, Prospera shows up and thanks Myorine. She trusts Suletta in her hands. Suletta wonders if Ariel is a Gundam. Prospera tells her that it is, in fact, a Gundam and apologizes for lying to her. Myorine bursts into the place and says, I run this place now, bitches. They turn Earth House into the headquarters for Gundam. Myorine and Suletta go to meet with Prospera. She wants to get data on the Gundam. Prospera tells her that permit is not stable, so mass-producing Gundams is impossible until they can prove the safety of Gundams and their pilots. All that Suletta asks is why her mother lied to her. She said it were to protect them from people who feared the Gundam. Myorine thinks she should have asked why the Gundam doesn't hurt her, but Suletta says Ariel is family. Back at the Earth House, they need to incorporate the business and are trying to figure out what exactly they should sell. Because everyone hears from Earth House, many of them don't really want to make a weapon that may one day be used against them. Meanwhile, Guel is living out in the middle of nowhere on the school grounds. Some kids come to make fun of him. Shaddiq comes and invites him to his house, but Guel doesn't want to take charity. Sarius is very much anti-Gundam, but Shaddiq sees them as the future and finds his adopted father to be stubborn. Shaddiq also tries to convince Myorine to give her new company to him in exchange for resources, but she ain't having it. The next day, Myorine shows Earth House a video from Vanadis. It is a video of Carbo Nabo, who we've seen in the prequel, explaining the true purpose of gun format. For medical purposes, the team decides to follow in the footsteps of Vanadis and make this their new business model. Everyone is finally on board with this business idea. As Suletta and Myorine go to get food for the team, they get an important message. It appears Shaddiq has changed the rules to prevent them from going through with the business and reverting all assets to the Betrayal Group. Shaddiq truly wants this company for himself. Of course, Myorine isn't going to allow this to happen. Guel wins another duel. A Grassley house girl streaming the duel mentions that this is the 5th duel this month. He is clearly overcompensating. But they also wonder why Shaddiq isn't making any moves either. Another mentions it is because he is hesitant around Myorine. Shaddiq and Myorine are talking at the tomatoes. Shaddiq mentions that he has no intention of ever becoming the holder. It is a bore to him. Myorine is just tired of people fighting to become her bride. She wants to head to Earth. This all, of course, is a flashback, which I actually didn't realize initially. Back in the present, someone destroyed the Gundam Inc. sign that the team made. While dealing with the company, Shaddiq is pestering Myorine to join forces. She asks again if Gundam would like to become partners, this time in front of Suletta. Myorine will remain president and handle operations and management. If I remember correctly, in return he will throw money at them while trying to find a way to steal their data on the Gundam. But he says he just wants a small piece of the pie, playing it cool. Myorine asks Shaddiq if he was the one who rewrote the rules to prevent their company from incorporating. He beats around the bush and says he will be the only one to catch her when she falls. Shaddiq, the man who finds duels a bore, apparently forgot about duels because this is exactly what Myorine does. She challenges Shaddiq. Lauda oversees the duel. It will take place on the 4th Tactical Testing Grounds. They plan on doing a team battle for this match. It will be 6v6. They're concerned that they won't have enough pilots. Myorine wants the stream to be aired outside of the school as she thinks it will make for great marketing. One of Grassley House members, Renee, talks shit to Laliq. Laliq says, "The f*** did I do to you?" She is confused and scared, possibly scaroused. The only real pilots that Earth has are Suletta and Chuchu. They are all squabbling at one another when Myorine tells them to leave while she thinks of a plan. Meanwhile, Nika and Shaddiq meet. Last time, we learned that Nika is a mole for Shaddiq in some form or another. She insults him, but he tells her it isn't a concern of a go-between, which I had to look that up. It's a broker or messenger, not really a common phrase over on the Pacific coast of the US. But is that common to you? Let me know in the comments. Suletta runs into Guel. She asks him if he could help out with the duel, but he tells her that his father has forbid him to duel. Pale Tech is able to loan 4 Zowarts for the Earth House to use during the battle. At Grassley House, Renee, Hanau, Sabina, Maisie, and Irisha pilot the Begir Pente. Till, Martin, Ohelo, and Laliq are piloting Zowarts while Chuchu is in her Demi trainer and Suletta is in Ariel. The CEK 077 Begir Pente is the predecessor to the Begir Bow, which we saw fighting against Ilfrith Gundam during the Vanadis Incident in the Prologue. This anti-gun format mobile suit has the ability to disable gun format equipment with an attack called the Antidote. It is equipped with a beam rifle, a non-kinetic shield, which is controlled via a wire, and a beam saber. It also has a backpack with high-capacity thrusters and antidote support. Shaddiq launches in the Michaelis. The CFK 029 Michaelis is Grassley Defense Systems' latest model that uses the same antidote method as the Begir Pente. Its main weapon is the beam bracer. This can be used as a beam weapon, but is also used as an anti-gun tech and uses non-kinetic effectors, whatever that means. One thing that we learn is that it only affects gun format systems with a permit score of 3 or lower. The beam bracer can also be controlled like a wired gun barrel. It also has a beam saber, a javelin bracer, which contains a drill javelin and a strike brace, making it an effective melee weapon. In a team battle like this, the objective is to cut off the antenna of the designated team leader. The battle begins. This is a bigger test field, so they have a lot more lead-in time for strategy and whatnot. Suletta is actually running defense because her team kind of isn't the best in terms of pilot skills. They need someone with skills to defend. Myorine suggests using Martin as a human shield if things go bad. Chuchu is supporting the rear. She is the first to get attacked by Grassley. Renee goes to attack Laliq. It appears she was mad at her because her backup boyfriend asked Laliq to lunch and she declined. Martin and Ohelo are taken out quickly. Till doesn't last long either. Chuchu is able to hold and fight for a little longer, but she is taken down quick as well. They surround Ariel. As she tries to escape, the Grassley mobile suits use their anti-gun tech to disable her. They take out her right arm. It seems that Ariel is down, but she talks to the Gundam, and it overrides their antidote weapons. Meanwhile, Chuchu, Laliq, and Till are still functioning. They get up and try to help. Ariel reactivates, and she is able to take out 2 Begir Pentes, but Shaddiq comes in and begins assaulting her. Ariel's right leg goes out, and she is struggling to walk. Shaddiq says he is the only one that could pilot Myorine. Right before he destroys Ariel, Chuchu snipes Shaddiq's mobile suit, destroying his antenna and winning the match. Gundam Inc. is finally able to incorporate and become a real company. Shaddiq tells Myorine that he is sorry that he didn't try in the past as much as he tried today. She says it's a little too late. Sarius has a meeting with Cathedra. He has been trying to put in requests to take down the Gundam, but it has been denied. He wonders why Delling is now protecting the Gundam. Vim, Jeturk, and Sarius plan on assassinating Delling. Shaddiq has allowed the postponement of duels while Ariel gets fixed up. Suletta is tending to the greenhouse while Myorine is out on a business trip. Chuchu calls and reminds Suletta of the gunned leg that they should be testing. She runs and meets with the rest of the team. Belmeria is with them. They never explicitly say, but I assume Pale has a small piece of gunned arm. Plus Belmeria is a former Vanadis member, so she is genuinely interested. Suletta tests the gunned legs. She is able to clear it easier than it was for Nika to see between Choo-Choo's hair. When asked if Suletta remembered to get permission to shoot the new PR video, she responds by saying, Suletta wasureta, or Suletta forgeta in the English dub. Later, Suletta goes to buy keychains as a gift to Miorine. Some poor soul will end up in one of these, but you don't have to worry about that for like 14 more episodes. Miorine goes to meet with her father, keeping her up to date with the company. Now that he is an investor, she gives him frequent reports on what is happening. Also, Till is there procuring the company with a new spaceship. Miorine gets Gaston and Fang to pilot the ship for them. Fang was originally the pilot who was going to help Miorine escape to Earth. Miorine realizes that the two also work for the Space Assembly League. This is a mediation group similar to Reverend Malkio in Gundam Seed. However, Reverend Malkio is one man that helps out greatly, whereas the Space Assembly League is an organization that moves the needle very slowly. The president of Grassley is talking about an assassination attempt. You wanna wake up for this one? They are going to let Vim do the assassination and watch. However, Shaddiq wants to do it to prove his worth to his adopted father. They didn't get permission, and since they are Earthians, they definitely won't get any help from the administrative staff. Suletta suggests that they use the Dueling Committee Lounge. As the holder, she has access to it. Meanwhile, Vim has made Guel drop out of school to work for one of his companies. Guel no longer has those Nepo baby privileges. Shaddiq calls Naji, who is in Japan, on Earth. He wants him to assassinate Delling for him. He will arrive at Plant Quete in 5 days. It seems the person who set up the call between Shaddiq and Naji was Nika, as Naji seems to be the father figure to her. After running tests with Belmeria, Suletta runs into Elan. He tells her that she looks very cute. He asks her out on a date and tells her that her marriage with Miorine isn't real. She pushes Elan and runs away. We find out from the Pale CEOs that this is Elan 5. His personality is closer to that of the original Elan. She heads back to the tomatoes to find out that Miorine is back from her trip. He has hired people to tend to her tomatoes, as well as hired Elan to help out as a test pilot. Suletta feels that Miorine truly doesn't have any feelings for her, and is just another tool for her to use. She drops her keychain present. Meanwhile, on Plant Quetta, Delling happens to be meeting with Prospera. The team is heading out in their new ship. Martin is manning the captain's chair with Belmeria by his side. I guess that makes sense. Martin is the leader of Earth House. His bowl cut is doing most of the work though. Suletta goes to check on the livestock. Why did they bring the farm animals with them? Miorine wants Nika to surpass Belmeria in skills so she could be an asset to Gun Arm and not have to rely on Belmeria, who works for Pale. Suletta hides from Miorine and wonders to herself why she did that. Delling and Prospera meet to discuss the secret project, Quiet Zero. She says he can refer to her as Elnora Samaya. She tells him that Ariel reached a permit score of 6 when Suletta went up against Grassley House. Prospera gives him data on Ariel for Quiet Zero. Remember, last week we saw Guel work for one of his father's companies. We also saw Nika helping Shaddiq team up with the terrorist group Dawn of Fold to assassinate Delling. Dawn of Fold is an anti-Spacian pro-Earth terrorist organization that have previously attacked the Benerit group. Led by Naji, this group takes over the ship that Guel was working on. Sophie is a crazy bee and attacks Guel, who is going by the name Bob. He tells the team to go about their work and pretend they aren't there. Suletta does the thing where she hands out all the food and there is no food left for her cliche. She goes to hang out on a toilet. People seem to hang out in toilets on this show. Usually I would think this was gross, but look at how pristine those toilets are. Vim tells Delling that Sarius is probably going to go after Miorine, but he simply tells Vim to worry about his own missing son. He doesn't like this, as he lays his hands on Delling. Guards escort him out, but Vim is able to put a tracker on one of Delling's guards. Vim contacts Shaddiq to begin the assassination in 2 hours, while also talking shit to him about being adopted. Shaddiq decides to not wait the 2 hours and begins the operation immediately. Noria and Sophie prepare their mobile suits. Sophie seems obsessed with Suletta as she watches her battles over and over again. Meanwhile, near the moon, the Dominicus Corps is heading out in the Ulysses. We never talked about him, but Kanaji Avery was a part of the Dominicus Corps during the Vanadis Incident where he piloted a Begir bow. See, this is what happens when you get way too into craft beer. He is informed of a Jeturk ship trying to get access to the area. He wonders what the ship is doing around here. At Plant Quetta, Belmeria makes this face at Prospera. The pair of legs finds Suletta and chases her. She tells Miorine that she thinks that no one believes in her. Miorine summons a small slap. She punches Suletta in the boob and tells her that if she wants Myorine to rely on her, then never leave her side. 3 Donna Fold members head out in the Desultor. The MD-0021 Desultor is a general-purpose mobile suit made by Jeturk Heavy Machinery before the creation of the Delanza. These mobile suits were given to Donna Fold by Shaddiq to lay fingers at Vim Jeturk. It is equipped with 140mm chest Vulcans, a shield, and an assault rifle that fires shell weapons, which I believe go against the treaty, but I can't confirm this. This is the kind of universe where they would regulate beam technology because it is easy to track. The future is starting to suck. It is also equipped with a heat knife, a bazooka, and a 3-tube missile launcher. The 3 Desultors begin disrupting communications. That is when Noria and Sophie launch in the Ilfrith Thorn and Ilfrith The EDM GA-02 Gundam Ilfrith Thorn is built by Ox Earth Corporation. Since the Vanadis Incident, they have thought to have disappeared, but we will soon learn that they have been alive and in hiding and working with the Space Assembly League. This is a heavily modified version of the Ilfrith pre-production model. Its stubby legs and arms give this unit a good center of gravity. Its main weapon is the beam diffuse gun. This is a scattershot beam weapon that uses a high-capacity battery. It is also equipped with a phased array cannon, which utilizes gun format tech, and a beam saber unit. The EDM GA-01 Gundam Ilfrith is also modified from the Ilfrith pre-production model, but it is so heavily customized that it doesn't bear any resemblance to the Ilfrith models. It is designed for short sorties, but can cause a great deal of damage in a small amount of time. It is equipped with a beam Gatling gun, the phased array cannon utilizing gun format, a beam saber, and beam Vulcans mounted on the shoulders. Both of these units were created to fight against the Benerit group and perform anti-Spacian terrorist attacks. Suletta finally gives Myorine her keychain gift. That is when Plant Quetta gets a red alert. The Ilfriths use their phase array cannon on the plant. Vim realizes that Shaddiq betrayed him. The hot-headed Sophie goes in to find Delling. Suletta and Myorine are split up during the attack. Sophie happens to run into Suletta. She realizes that she isn't in her mobile suit, so she doesn't want to kill her and shoots around her, hoping she will run to Ariel. Vim Jeturk heads back to his ship and launches in a Delanza Soul along with some of his men in Delanzas. It is kind of wild. It would be like if the CEO of Lockheed Martin took one of their F-35s and said, "Screw it, I will fix Gaza myself." You think those chicken hawks are ever going to get close to a battlefield? Now that is fiction. Myorine runs into her father, Delling. Sophie runs into some Begir Pentes. She goes to Permit Score 2, causing damage. The pale mobile suits use the antidote on her Ilfrith. She goes Permit Score 4 and reactivates her gunned format. However, it causes her a great deal of pain. She uses her Gatling gun and takes out the rest of the Grassley mobile suits. Noria is calm and collected as she takes out Jeturk mobile suits. During Sophie's attack around Suletta, it happened to greatly injure Delling in the process. Myorine tries to help her father. The Desultors make their way into the plant and head out on foot. The Earthhouse team is on the Gundam Inc. ship. They are all freaking out. Noria and her Ilfrith is about to destroy the hangar, but Nika sends out a message in Morse code to Noria informing her that she is an ally. However, Martin saw what she just did. Vim attacks the Jeturk ship that happens to also have his son on it. He realizes that he is also fighting against his own mobile suits. Guel decides to escape the ship using a Desultor, but he is instantly attacked by his own father. His mobile suit is heavily damaged, but he rushes towards the Delanza Soul and stabs the cockpit. He finally establishes communication with the mobile suit, realizing that it is his father. As the mobile suit explodes, Guel cries out for his daddy. Inside the plant, Suletta is spotted by Donna Fold, but she is saved by Prospera. We have the most adorable, heartwarming version of Shinji getting to the Eva that I have ever seen. Aw, I don't even mind that you're about to do a little bit of murder. Sophie breaks into the factory and finds Suletta in the Gundam Ariel Rebuild. The XVX-016RN Gundam Ariel Rebuild is an upgraded version of the Ariel after the battle with Grassley House. There is only really two main differences between this unit and the original. One, it now has a built-in thruster backpack, so they don't have to rely on that janky-ass old version that Nika made for the battle with Elan. This also gives Ariel a new blue accent color that extends to the backpack thrusters like wings. The second change in the rebuild is the new beam rifle. The beam rifle can now utilize Ariel's gun bit staves, and when combined, it turns it into a beam cannon or gun bit cannon. This cannon can destroy mobile suits, even if it is close by the beam attacks. This Ariel also has some RGB going on, so you know she's a real gamer. Depending on Suletta's permit score, the mobile suit will glow a different color. It still utilizes Gund form, the bit staves to create shields and other various things, along with the beam saber and beam Vulcans. We will also see that once Suletta reaches a permit score of 6, she actually has the ability to disable other gun format tech. She pushes Sophie out into space, and the two begin their battle. Ariel realizes that she is fighting against another Gundam. Noria comes to help out, but Sophie doesn't want her to interfere. Suletta uses the gun-to-bit cannon for the first time. Sophie laughs at the sheer power. Captain Avery and the Dominicus Corps make their way to the battlefield. They send out mobile suits to help. Too much time has passed. Naji tells the team to retreat. Shaddiq's mission has failed. And that will do it for this episode. I kid. This episode fakes you out with a very long post-credit scene on how to make tomato sauce. Myorine is transporting her severely injured father. Suddenly, out of the corner comes one of the terrorists, who happen to still be alive. He realizes that he was left behind and will kamikaze himself if he has to. Right before he shoots Myorine and Delling, Suletta comes bursting in with Ariel. Earlier in the episode, we saw Prospera save Suletta by killing a bunch of terrorists. She told Suletta that she didn't hesitate, move forward, and gain too. In this moment, Suletta did the exact same thing that Prospera did for her. She didn't hesitate. She gained, too. Yeah, so anyways, the way to make tomato sauce is to take the tomato and smash the shit out of it. End of recipe. Suletta has the most adorable smile on her face for just committing murder. However, Myorine, the confident pair of legs, is horrified and scared of her. And that will do it for this episode, and the first season of Mobile Suit Gundam, Witch from Mercury. I really enjoyed the corporate intrigue that played out. It really made me excited for the bigger world of Ad Stella at hand. However, this is very much a character-driven series, and all the conflict moving forward will be more or less isolated to the characters we already know. That may or may not be a good thing, depending on what you are into. Next season, we will see the Benerit group sweep the entire Plant Quetta incident under the rug, just like they did with the Vanadis Incident. We will also see Noria and Sophie infiltrate the school. We will also learn more about the Data Storm and what Ariel actually is. Also, Myorine and Suletta's relationship will totally be left up to interpretation. But that will do it for now, Spacians. Remember, tomato sauce is easy. Stop dwelling on the details. Peace.